we're debating this resolution. So I just want to clarify that before we move any further. The really important impact of that argument is that the military kids are the ones who are in danger. So they're the ones whose social media access we should be restricting, not that of the entire United States. The next argument was talking about how we have a smart military and they're probably already working on finding the children. I have two responses to this argument. The first one is not in the resolution. Now return to the resolution. The resolution paints this dire scenario and then it says the solution is to shut down social media. It says absolutely nothing about doing anything to rescue the kids, and we think that that's probably a pretty good place to start. So we think that we should begin by trying to rescue the kids, not by limiting social media. The second response I have to this argument is actually that they won't be able to do, our smart military won't be able to do their job as effectively without access to social media. And this is really important because it was brought up in the last speech how ISIS is currently in America. So my response is, what about all the ISIS people who are in America? If they don't have access to social media anymore, we can't track them. They're honestly probably the ones who are going to be doing the kidnapping. It's probably not the ones who are sitting over in Syria or Iraq. They don't have some teleportation device. They're probably in America. Those are the ones who are probably going to be kidnapping the children. Those are the ones who we need to be tracking. And we can't do that if we restrict Americans' access to social media. The next argument was talking about how there are new targets, there would be new targets. My response to this argument is we need to be addressing the current problem. The current problem is that the military is the one being targeted. So that's the problem that we need to fix, and that's the problem that's intrinsic within the resolution. The next argument was talking about how our counterclaim is non-unique, so I just want to rehash what I said before. The resolution doesn't offer any alternative solution. It says that the solution to this problem is to destroy social media, and we don't think that that's the solution at all. We think that it's a much better idea to go with the opposition's scheme and counterclaim. The next argument was talking about how Facebook would not be shut down entirely. So my response to this argument is twofold. The first response I have to this argument is that it would be limiting America's freedom of speech in a significant manner, and that's definitely worth considering. The fact that we are telling Americans that they can't say what they want on social media is worth considering. But my second response is that America does make up a significant amount of Facebook business. I probably myself make up a significant amount of Facebook business. So I definitely think that this is going to be bad for Facebook. As minor as that is, it's still a problem. Ultimately, all of these problems lead us up to a culmination and to a conclusion that it is absolutely ridiculous to shut down social media sites in response to this terrible, atrocious evil that has happened to us. The next argument was talking about how we're not bowing down to terrorists, and my response is really important. We are giving in to fear. We are letting terrorists employ the method that terrorists employ, which is terror. And we are acquiescing to that fear. We're saying, we're scared of you, so we're going to limit our people's constitutional rights. That's absolutely ridiculous. We can't be doing that. That's crazy. If we actually want to maintain any kind of a strong base, we need to not be acquiescing to the fear method used by the terrorists. The last argument was talking about how we can actually still track the terrorists, and my response is, again, the members of ISIS, they're in the US who are probably the ones who are going to be doing the kidnapping. We can't track anymore, which is not good. I have two voting issues for you today. The first voting issue is that we are compromising our Constitution because of the fear methods employed by the terrorists. If you go with the government team's plan, we will be compromising the Constitution because of the fear tactics employed. And under this argument, I want to talk about the response and about the Patriot Act. Now, we talked about how the Patriot Act allows us to limit the rights of people in certain situations. And my response is, the Patriot Act in this situation applies to the people who are, we can confirm who are in danger, and that is the children of the military, which is why we think that as a counterclaim, it's a better idea to restrict their access to social media. It does not apply to every single person who's in the United States. A blanket statement saying that every single social media site should be shut down in the United States is a blatant restriction on freedom of speech. It's absolutely not okay. And what's worse, it's a blatant restriction on freedom of speech because of terrorists. We're acquiescing to the terror methods employed. That's absolutely not okay. My final voting issue is the red herring in the resolution. The red herring and the wrong problem addressed by the resolution. In the resolution, it talks about how the children of 200 U.S. and British and military personnel and German military personnel are kidnapped, and then it proposes a solution. Shut down social media sites? We think absolutely not. We shouldn't restrict freedom of speech to acquiesce to fear, and ultimately we need to be finding the children. Thanks.